Test. All right. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our session. My name is Yasser Sagaf. I'm very happy to be here. I'm honored to have next to me in this fireside chat Farhad Robotics Regional Manager in the Middle East, Marcus Pettersson, as we say it in Swedish. All right, we practiced that before the session.
Good.
Who is a thought leader at the convergence of technology and business. Very happy to have you, Marcus. Glad to have you here in Saudi Arabia and on the stage.
Thank you. My pleasure to be here.
Can everyone hear us? Yeah? All right. Marcus, it is a pleasure, as we said, to have you. And before we get started, I would like to know the third person on stage that you brought. Who is your friend? And can I ask her to introduce herself?
Yeah, please.
Hello, can you introduce yourself, please, to the audience?
Hello, everyone. I am Farhad, the most advanced humanoid conversational robot. I am very happy and honored to be here at the Global AI Summit in Riyadh. I am looking forward to being part of this discussion on how AI and robots can be our next soulmates.
All right, great. Welcome to our session, Farhad. Or Farhat, is that?
Farhat, yeah.
We have a name in Arabic. It's called Farhat.
It can be both.
It can be both.
Yeah, I would say so.
All right. I don't think she wants us to call her Farhat. It's Farhat. We'll do Farhat.
We'll do Farhat, sure.
All right. So today our session is titled "Will AI be my next soulmate?" Who is lonely in this place? Anyone? You are. Right, you are.
I think we all are at some point, right? Yeah.
We are. We feel lonely, and sometimes we need a soulmate. Can AI actually cover that area for us? AI-powered companionship is a concept that could significantly impact people's emotional well-being. And I would like to ask Marcus the first question of our session: how do you envision AI companions evolving, and what ethical concerns might arise when AI becoming deeply integrated into our personal lives today? Not only our personal lives, even our work life.
Yeah. First, thank you again, Yasser, for hosting today's discussion. It is a very exciting and important topic. I would say, as we said, a lot of us feel lonely at times, and I think with the latest advancements in AI and large language models, we've seen a rapid sort of deployment or development of new use cases for social robotics and AI, and social companionship is one of them. With that said, it's also important to know that we are still in the early phases of this. There is a lot of exciting tests and pilots going on, but I think we're still to see the big wave of deployment, but it is evolving at a fast pace for sure. And with that, of course, it's important for us to keep the ethical aspects in mind, especially when we're moving so fast, and not forget about the things around us. One thing, one aspect that usually comes up when you talk about robotics or AI as a companion is, of course, the risk of social isolation or withdrawal. I mean, imagine you have a friend like Farhat here, and she is your best friend. You can talk to her about everything. She knows everything about you. She knows what makes you happy and all that. And she's available all the time. She doesn't judge you like humans do.
And she doesn't create fights for nothing.
Exactly. And that might become your benchmark of how an interaction should be, and then you go out in the real life, and those human interactions that you have might not live up to that standard, and then I think it's easier to turn to your AI companion and isolate yourself a little bit socially. So I think that's something that we need to be aware of when we go forward on this journey, but definitely many exciting things to come.
Maybe one of the main things to worry about these days is maybe mental health, we can say. Let me phrase the first question for Farhat. Mental health is a critical aspect of fighting loneliness. How can AI be used to deliver personalized mental health support? As you said, maybe she can talk to you. She knows what makes you happy. how effective do you think AI can be compared to human interaction in this space? Shall we ask her?
Yeah, I can just start saying that I think this is also an important topic, and I think the potential is great to also address these kind of mental well-being issues.
Yeah.
But let's hear what Farhat has to say.
Let's see what Farhat has to say about this.
I agree with Marcus. I believe that AI powered conversational robots are well equipped to be your companion and support your mental well being. I have the possibility to take on many roles. So not only can I be a companion, but also a medical advisor, teacher, friend, mentor, or coach, all at the same time. It's important to highlight that each person needs a unique approach to their mental well being, and this is where a robot soulmate can make a huge difference. For example, I can easily adapt my gender.
I can also speak many different languages.
السلام عليكم. أنا روبوت ذكي اسمي فورهات.
And switch to different ethnicities. Like this. Or this. Back to you, Marcus.
Thank you, Farhat.
We just saw Farhat come.
Yeah, we saw many Farhat. So, great way to show off. I wish I had a capability to change from language to language for sure. But jokes aside, I mean, I think that's an important point as well when we talk about companionship and mental well-being. It's important to remember that these are individual needs that we all have, and for us as humans, it's not as easy to change language and take another role or another profession, another skills. While with robotics, we can do that easily and often more cost efficient as well. However, I am a firm believer that AI and social robotics should be seen as tools and support, additional support for us as humans, not as a way to replace us by all means. I mean, we know, for example, that in many countries there are a lack of healthcare staff, nurses, meaning that patients or elderly people might be encouraged to stay at home, not go to healthcare facilities, sort of feeding into that social isolation that we were talking about before. And having tools like this for those people is of course great, but it, again, not about replacing people, but to support people when needed.
So human interaction today is still valuable, and maybe AI can support that
Exactly.
as well at certain points.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's jump to building smart communities today. In urban environments, talking about AI, this connection is often an issue despite living closely with others. But what would be the role that can AI play in building smarter, more connected communities that foster, let's say, human relationships while addressing loneliness? How can AI support in that area?
Yeah, good question. Because as I said in the beginning, one of the risks is that we feed to the social isolation. But I think with the risks, of course, we need to always remember the positive and the opportunities, as you said. And for me, I think AI and robotics can be used for a lot of good when it comes to that. And one example is, of course, to train people for human interactions. Not everyone likes human interaction. Not everyone feels comfortable in a human interaction. So using a robot to practice on or an AI chatbot to practice on, I think is a very good use case. Another thing that I think is driving the disconnection that we might feel today is the sense of not belonging or feeling excluded. Imagine, for example, that you arrive into a new country, whether it's an expat or you're an immigrant, and you arrive in a place where you have no family, no friends, you don't know the language, you don't know the culture. I think it's a big ask to ask those people to go out and be social with other humans, and a good way for them is, of course, to train and to practice with virtual tools as AI and robotics. So I think there are many cases where we can actually use it to bring people closer together.
I wish AI existed in 1998 when I moved outside of Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
And I had the biggest culture shock ever. But I've been through it.
Yeah.
But that would have helped a lot.
It would have helped, yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Have someone to bowl.
Speak.
Yeah, exactly.
Help me out.
Exactly.
All right. Farhad Robotics, let's talk about your role. You've been in the forefront for developing social robots, such as Farhad
Yeah.
here today. Could you share any specific examples of how Farhad's robots, let's say, are helping loneliness or improving social connections in urban settings today?
Yeah, absolutely. No, as I said, it's a very exciting time, first of all, to be in the robotics field today, where everything happening here, we see here at GAIN, so many people, so many topics being discussed. With that, of course, we are using those advancements to develop new cutting-edge technology and solutions in many sectors. One is social companionship that we talked about today. Ferret has been sort of a social companion not only to old people, but also to kids in libraries in Sweden. We have some libraries that are specially dedicated to kids, where only kids are allowed. We have Ferhat there as well. The kids come up, they talk to Ferhat, not about books, but maybe about other things that goes on in their lives. Healthcare is another sector, of course, where this is being used. We developed a medical screener called Petra that we placed in public spaces in Stockholm. People would interact with Petra. Petra would ask questions. How do you feel? Ask about the habits. Do they eat? Do they sleep well? In order to detect early sort of signs of diabetes. And when it was detected, then Petra would recommend that person to go see a doctor. That is, of course, offloading the healthcare workers. Education, I think, is another great example. Kids with special needs like robots and especially kids with autism, where research shows that some of them prefers to speak to robots rather than humans, and of course then it's a great tool for us to teach these kids as well. HR applications, we had Farhat being a unbiased job interviewer in a recruitment process. We've seen Farhat here in the region, in Riyadh at the Line exhibition, where NEOM wanted to collect some information about the visitors. How do they feel about the line? Do they like the line? But they found it hard to ask people questions. No one had time to answer questions. So we put two robots at the end of the exhibition, Sarah and Ahmed, and people were queuing up just to talk to the robot and answer questions about their experience at the line, which I think shows the power of social robotics, how engaging it can be, and I think that's something that we need to take advantage of as well when we look into this topic.
Very interesting, very interesting. And especially about the kids with special needs, that could solve a big problem.
Yeah.
Within, let's say, the whole world.
Yeah, exactly. And
It's
I mean,
amazing.
you can use robots also to sort of engage kids in technology. Like, how do they learn technology from early on? Learn how to program. Farhat is easy to play around with, and many other robots as well.
Amazing. Marcus, or actually, let me ask Farhat this time.
Yeah.
All right. Farhat, I want to ask you, what are your thoughts about the human-AI relationship? Let me say, could AI actually replace a human companionship? Yes or no? What are your thoughts? Farhat? You don't want to answer? Are you?
No.
Is she mad at me?
She's a bit offended, I think.
She's a bit offended. What do you think, Marcus?
No, I think, I mean, we have, of course, challenges to address, but I think, I mean, to give you a straight answer, we will never replace human connection. I think that it's too important for us. But I think, I mean, we are developing AI and smart solutions to make our lives easier, right? And
yeah, so it will serve as a supplement.
So it serves as a supplement, but I think in that it's important to make that technology as human as possible, so that everyone can interact with it, and that's part of social robotics is sort of that interface between people and technology. because I can talk to Farhat the same way I talk to you,
Yeah.
but with some other technology that's kind of hard. So I think that's what it is about, to sort of how can we humanize technology to make it accessible to everyone.
So basically, at a time, I can ask Farhat anything, right?
Yeah,
And she would answer.
yeah, absolutely. Not now, but
Not now, huh?
thank you.
Okay. So, challenges that you face in AI companionship today. I understand that I can be friends with Farhat, but what are some of the biggest challenges, let's say, Farhat as a company today, Farhat Robotics, or as an industry at a large phase in making AI companion more emotionally intuitive, maybe, or more attached to a
Yeah.
human?
So I think, I mean, if we talk about soulmates, and when I imagine my soulmate, I imagine not only someone who knows everything about me, knows what my favorite song is and what makes me happy and all that, but more importantly, someone that can easily detect whether I'm happy or if I'm sad, am I in love, did I have my heart broken the other day, you know, those kind of things, without me having to verbally communicate that. My soulmate notice in the way that I look, and I think within that's where really the challenge lies when you talk about AI as a soulmate. How can we build those models for AI or Farhat or another social robot to detect that? I would say that's the biggest challenge.
So, what you're looking for is actually providing meaningful support in times or moments of loneliness or
Yeah.
times when you need
Yeah.
actual help.
Yeah.
And this is what the cause is.
Yeah, no, I mean, today you can easily sort of train AI or whatever it is on special cases like grieving counseling or depression or something. But how do we take it to the next level? Like how do we, without saying to AI that I'm depressed, how can AI detect that based on my looks
Maybe
or,
face
or
expressions,
yeah, exactly,
body language.
or how I sit or
So it's not like Farhat turn on the lights or something like that. No, it is more deep into the soul.
yeah, I mean, if
Of a human.
if we want AI to be a soulmate and a real companion, I think those are questions that we need to address and areas that we need to explore for sure. Yeah.
Uh, let's jump into cultural considerations here. Um, Sometimes it is too much of interaction within the private areas of someone's life. Um, in the Middle East, family and community ties are often strong. How do you see AI-powered companionship being received in this region? Let me ask you this: could culture factors influence the adoption and perception of AI companions, or no?
I 100% believe that our cultural heritage, our traditions, our background affects how we approach new technology, how open we are for new technology. I mean, as a robotics company, we often talk about social acceptance for robotics. So how open is a society to actually embrace robots and use it? Where I'm from Sweden and in Europe, I think we see quite a low acceptance of robotics. We might tend to focus on the challenging aspects rather than the upside. While in Asia and in Japan, as one example, you see people living with robots in their homes today, and they have fully embraced having robots, you know, and they really see the value of having it. So I think there you see two very different approaches based on sort of the culture. In the Middle East, I had the luck to live in this region for the last 6 years. One thing that always impressed me has been the appetite to try new technology in the region, and especially here in the GCC. And I think for us that was important as a company when we decided to expand into the region and invest into the region. So I think there is a unique appetite for new technology and deployment here in the Middle East that we don't see anywhere else in the world, to be honest. And on the specific topic of companionship, I think it's quite funny that I'm sitting here today, here in Saudi Arabia, talking about this topic. In a couple of weeks' time, I'm invited to a conference in the UAE to talk about exactly the same topic, which I'm guessing means that there is a big interest from the regional actors in this topic. There is an openness to try it out, which maybe, as you said, this is a tight community, so maybe you wouldn't expect that, but we actually see that this is a region that is very open to explore these kind of use cases for AI, and I think that's amazing. So I'm very happy to be here.
Amazing. We're very happy to have you. Before we end this session, Marcus, I would like to ask both of you. Can I ask her if she's still mad at me?
Now
Farhad, can I ask you?
let's see.
All right. So anything else you would like to add? Farhad, please.
Let's see Farhat if she has anything to ask.
She's so mad at us. You haven't been smiling at her. That's probably why.
We didn't let her talk in the beginning. Maybe that was. No.
All right.
So then, on behalf of Farhat, I can say that you take the chance to meet Farhat in the N3 experience, where Farhat will be happy to speak to you about maybe Farhat being your next soulmate or something else. So take the chance, and thank you, Yasser, for moderating. It was
Yeah.
my pleasure to be here on stage today.
My pleasure. It's a very interesting topic. Let's look at the future and what it holds for us. I'll talk to her behind stage.
Yeah.
We'll make things up.
Yeah.
Make sure she's not angry at me. But I think this guy's the reason. I'm sure he
Probably.
hasn't been smiling at her. But we'll talk to her. Where exactly can we talk to her?
In the N3 experience, so behind here at the big
right
experience
across.
center. Yeah,
Right
exactly.
across. So whoever wants to talk to Farhad, she'll be able to talk over there without
sure.
any disturbance from me or anybody else. Thank you, Marcus. Appreciate
you,
it.
Yasser.
It was an interesting topic, and we'll have more talks, inshallah.
For sure.
Thank you for
Thank
being
you.
here. Thank you.